Awesome, we are live streaming. Let me go ahead and get this set up. Just a minute here. Sorry about the wait, guys. Okay, so today we're going to be talking all about personal branding, and we're going to wait a little while until we get some people in the comments. But until then, let me tell you what I've been up to. So I have been studying all about MongoDB. I have an exam on Monday to get the certification, and I am losing it, to say the least. I've just been doing that, studying. Then I have React on top of that. If you haven't seen my other videos, so it's been a busy week. But you know, you get through it, you do it, and then you get the certification. Yes. And I've learned a ton about MongoDB already. But that's, like I've said before, that's a whole separate video. When I get through this exam and hopefully pass, I will tell you more about that. Hey, thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, let me know in the comment section or the chat section, and I will try to get to that comment as soon as possible. I really do appreciate you guys giving me comments, giving me feedback, letting me know how I'm doing. And you know, that's what it's all about, really, is just being together in like a community kind of setting, so we can you know, we can all go ahead and be together. Let me go ahead and fix this camera just a little bit. There we go, that's a bit better. And I apologize, it's dark out here, I'm on the shaded side, but let's actually go ahead and switch to a different screen here. And I apologize also, it's a little windy outside, but we will manage. So here's my LinkedIn. We'll talk all about LinkedIn in a while. I just wanted to get you off that screen so you're not seeing that infinite loop that I've been told about in the past. And let me go ahead and actually pop out the chat section. Oh, what's up? What's up, Ecro197? Thanks for coming. Looks like, you know, looks like we're gonna have a good one this time. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the future while I figure this out. Let's pop out the chat. There we go. And we'll put that here. We'll put you over here. Okay. A little bit about what we're going to be doing in the future. Yes, actually, that's going to be its whole own live stream about being motivated. But Icaro says, how do you stay motivated? For me, it's all about having the vision of what you want to do. Eventually, I want to make my own like learning platform. So there's Lynda and Treehouse and stuff, and I want to make my own version of that for people to go to and learn. Overall, I just want to be like an educator for people who have doing like the alternative route, but not in like an impractical way. And so having that vision is how I stay motivated with YouTube, with anything like graphic design, web development. It's all related to that. So hopefully maybe within a year or two, you know, a couple of years, hopefully not that long, but I'm willing to stick it out that long for the vision. That's how I do that. So that's how I stay motivated, but we'll go into detail in another live stream and we can talk about that. But if you have any questions, especially right now is a good time to ask when we're waiting for people to get here. Let me go ahead and see what we got here. 2 watching, all right. So we'll get started here in a little while. If you were here before, I tried to go ahead and get this started, but you guys aren't around. You guys aren't awake at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So it seems like about 9:30 is when I've been typically doing my live stream, so that's when people are here. So, you know, in the future, I will go ahead and like set a more permanent schedule so we can get this done. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on getting these certifications done with MongoDB and React. And I have been trying to upload more frequently with YouTube, just seeing how that works, how it affects my views and stuff. Because I do want to grow this channel more, but it takes work. And so that's what you got to do, is put in some of that stuff. What are some videos that you guys are looking for? Of course, obviously, keeping yourself motivated is one. Anyone else? Whoa. Yeah. That's right. None so far? All right. No big deal. Let's see how many people. We got 3 watching. It's about time to start. We'll give it a couple more minutes. If you just tuned in, this is all about personal branding. I'm sure you can tell by the title, but how it's important for web development, web developers, and how you can boost your personal brand and use that to your advantage with getting a job or getting freelance clients. Just in general, it's helped me out a ton. And so we'll talk all about that and some of the things we've done here. As you can see, I have my LinkedIn with some of my articles, and we'll go into depth on that. But it's a little windy out here, so I apologize if there's some wind and some shake to this camera. Let me try to keep it steady here. Those are the things you got to worry about live streaming. I like to do live streams outside because I'm inside all day. But yeah, thanks for coming by so far, everyone. See who we got. We got 2 people here. What do you say we go ahead and get this started? So let's talk about personal branding. Personal branding really is just giving yourself like the image that you want others to see. And if you think about it, big brands have this all the time. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, of course, Apple. And so when I say those words, there's a mental image that you're going to have about that specific brand. And they've cultivated that over the years. And basically with personal branding, that's what you're doing for yourself. So when someone thinks of you, you're able to shape that image. And no matter who you are, you actually have a personal brand. And people will say, oh no, that's all heebie-jeebie self-help stuff. Well, yeah, you're helping yourself, which I don't see how that's a bad thing. But it's really, no matter who you are, you're going to have a personal brand. If you think about the guy at work that's sitting down all the time at his desk eating Cheetos, I'm sure that you have a personal brand. And sometimes it's good or bad, but that might be part of his brand is, oh, I eat Cheetos. For me, even though it's not intentional, especially at work, and sometimes a little bit here, coffee. Coffee drinking is part of my personal brand. So people know that I live off of coffee and caffeine. But that's really part of my personal brand. Even in one of the videos I've done before, I talked about all these different coffee shops that I go to. Hey, what's up? Oh, Neil, right? Indra Neil, I think that's right. Thanks for coming by. So we are constantly making our personal brand, intentional or not. But when you make it intentional, that's when you can really have an impact. For me, YouTube, LinkedIn are the main ones. I really go hard on YouTube because it's so interactive, and I can talk with you guys, and I can build my own environment. I don't want to say community, even though I feel like it's getting there, but that's why I use YouTube. But whenever someone comes with a problem about web development or something, especially in this local area, they have this image of me, my personal brand, and they can go through all my YouTube stuff and some of my projects and my LinkedIn and see that, yeah, I really know what I'm talking about. I am actively engaged in this, and that's what you need to do, is shape who you are. Now, how do you do that? Well, there are a ton of ways to actually do your personal branding, and one of the best ways to get started is through blogging. Now, you can do a WordPress blog if you need to set that up and you know how to do WordPress. I believe the WordPress blogs are free, the blogs themselves, not like an actual website. If you are going to do something like LinkedIn, you might as well be doing articles on LinkedIn. That's how I got started. I already had my LinkedIn. I know that recruiters look at that, and I don't have to do any additional setup. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can make it through here. I got this umbrella here with all the wind. Let me go ahead and pull this down. Those are the things that you have to worry about on live streams, is just random stuff like this, right? But that makes it more real, more raw. So give me just a minute here. Sorry, guys. WordPress is free. Okay, Neil says WordPress is free, but there are more people on Quora or Medium. Yeah, and what I've done actually is make a blog about all the things that I know about web development, and then I put them on my blog on LinkedIn, and then I actually just took those and just put them on my Quora account. Now, Quora isn't really my thing, but if it works for you, you can do it. Let's go ahead and look through some of these. So on this side, as you see on the left side of the screen, here's a bunch of articles. And really, it's just about getting started. You will get better as time goes on, especially if you go through those and read them, because you'll find tons of mistakes and you'll be horrified and you'll correct them if you're doing it right. So the first thing I talked about is why every college graduate needed to type, and that was 2 years ago. So just basic things that can help me get started. And still, typing is highly related to web development. You have to type if you want to code. So going through there and just having everything related to like your web developer path is really important. You know, how you can learn fast, how you can, let's see, I went from the very beginning about like what you're learning. So I went through the Udacity for a Nanodegree program, and I talked about the program and how it helped me. Blogging, you can't go wrong with it. It's probably the easiest way for you to get started. You'll learn about writing, and you'll learn a little bit about layout, and you already know that you should be doing that with web development. Let's talk about Quora though. Quora is a great place to go and answer questions, but for me, I mean, I use it just personally, but you can set up a blog here. Let's go ahead and go to my profile, and we will go to the blog. I'm sure it's different in every single like country, but you know, this is my blog, Always Be Learning. It's literally like the same thing, and you can just put your stuff in here. Now, the reason why I use LinkedIn instead is because it's better for recruiters. You know, there's less resistance if they needed to get to that, or for even like a manager, because they all go to that profile, and they can look around and see everything that I've done. Twitter is part of your personal brand. I don't use it a lot. As you can see, I only have 43 followers, but I've heard, you know, great things with people using Twitter. I believe the medium is dying, just from my experience. There's this noisy truck here, so I apologize about that. That's what happens when you do stuff in a public space. But you know, Twitter helps a lot of people out there in the web development space, but I believe it's dying. Keeping your Facebook clean is also good, but I'm not the best at that. Some of my personal life goes into Facebook, so you know, it's not always web development. But I do put my web development out there, so friends know, you know, what I do, and if they need help, they can go ahead and do that. GitHub is part of your personal brand. You're shaping that identity, and my GitHub is not too clean right now, but you can go ahead and take a look. Here's some of the courses I do, but mostly I just use it to keep fresh on Git and stuff like that. Just want to make sure we're still streaming here. And then of course YouTube. YouTube is my thing. And I love YouTube because for me it's just helped me so much, like, to stand out, because it's hard to do, to be honest. It's a lot harder to produce like content and have it searched and, you know, edit it and do the thumbnails and stuff. Trump would not allow Twitter to die. That is very true. You know that? Like, I don't want to be political, but I honestly believe that Twitter has been successful, like, recently because of President Trump. Moving on. Yeah, for me, YouTube has been great. And that's something that you should note. The higher barrier to entry, the more you're going to stand out. So I did YouTube because it's one of the hardest things to do, I believe, is you got to know SEO. You got to know how to do attractive thumbnails. For me, that's Photoshop and photography. You got to know how to do video production and some audio. You know, you got to know how to actually produce video and have the cameras to do that. And then, you know, doing the tags, SEO, engaging with your community. If you can do that, you're going to stick out a lot more. And as long as you're doing the right things, you're going to be able to, you know, have a really strong brand. Just think about, you know, what I put here. If you would have seen me like 2 or 3 years ago, you would not have the same image of me. And it's not because it'd be like a bad image, but I actively cultivated that image myself. Can you later answer my question above? Icaro says. How do you keep yourself motivated? Is that the one that you're talking about? Or Trump would not allow Twitter to die. Oh, I see. I see what you have here. What teaching site do you like the most? I know that you have gone through many that you can point out where your top 3 to 5 sites. We will talk about that in a moment. Let me go ahead and finish this up here, and then we'll come back to personal branding, and I will get to your question, Icaro. So YouTube has been great for me. That's something you might want to think about. But I also know a lot of people do podcasts. So the 3 main ones are podcast, YouTube, and blogging, whether that be through WordPress. But of course, always keeping your image clean, letting people know who you are, what you're projecting in real life too, helps out a ton. Now for me personally, and for a lot of web developers, we don't really talk too much to people, but when you do, like your coworkers and stuff, you want to make sure that you match, your work. And people that you talk to in the community, you want to make sure that they know what you do and what you're all about, and having that brand. And don't think like, well, I don't have a website or anything. That doesn't matter. Let's wait for this guy. Big trucks in Idaho, I tell you what. Okay, so that doesn't matter so much as the as just actively shaping who you are and how you want to be perceived. That's really what personal branding is all about. So Icaro asked, what are my 3 to 5 favorite sites? My 3 favorite sites, the ones that I go to the most, are probably Pluralsight is number 1. That's the one I go to all the time because it has a lot of specific information. YouTube now, because again, it's more specific. Like when you're trying to learn about, like, get a foundation, YouTube is not the place to go in my opinion. But now that I have a foundation, when I need really specific stuff, I can go to YouTube. What's another favorite? Those are Pluralsight, YouTube. Trying to think. Oh, and Udemy for sure, because again, it's more specific, and I can get like a specific course that I need, and just save it and have it forever. And it's an open marketplace, so you can see a whole bunch of stuff. There's a rating system. For the most part, it's pretty good, but there's always a few duds. But that's with anything. So those are my 3 favorite ones: Pluralsight, Udemy, YouTube. All right, so we've talked about the personal branding. We've gone in to a lot of circles, but how it affects your job is it can affect it a lot, as long as you're being active about it or not active. If you're letting people think of you in a negative light, if you show up late to work all the time, they'll know you as a late guy. If you are always a slob, they'll know you as the slob, and that's not something you want. Neil says YouTube, Udacity, Team Treehouse, and Udemy. Those are his favorite sites, I assume. But really just going through all the sites and finding what works for you is most important. Nope, we got some dogs here. There's like this little tiny dog here, and it's like trying to take on these like 2 Labradors. But that's what happens when you do stuff in a public space. So yeah, just be aware of what you're doing, how you're shaping that, and if you want to go above and beyond, make a blog. And I highly suggest you make a blog as a web developer, because it's the Wild West out here. Anyone can say they're a web developer. There's not a certification. Well, there are a couple certifications, but they don't really matter. What matters is your work and your background, and how can you prove that through personal branding, through a portfolio, all of that, and that's going to help you get a job or get clients. All right, so that's pretty much the topic. I don't want to beat it death. I think you get the idea. Let's go ahead and open up for more questions. So if you have any more questions, Icaro or Neil, let me know, or whoever else is with us. I haven't really checked in because it's getting kind of windy out here, and I think we've talked about the topic thoroughly. Should probably go back. Let's go ahead. And I'll just pull up one of my old articles here, so you can take a look and just see, and we'll go through it. This is probably like my most successful article, how to get your LinkedIn to shine, and it only has 8 thumbs up, but you really want to see the views. That's what matters. And you can just see, it talks about job vibe and stuff, and you guys can add me on LinkedIn too. You can see the link there, and definitely link up, connect. I don't do too much on there anymore. It's more about YouTube. Well, it seems like we don't have any questions. I will go ahead and sign off here, and we'll do another one next week. Do you guys have any suggestions for videos that you'd like to see? I do work full-time Icaro. I work 40 hours, and then I usually put in about 25 to 30 hours for studying, and then whatever I have left on YouTube, which takes, I don't know, 12 hours maybe? 12, depending on how many videos I do, 12, 15 hours at most. But then again, I'm always checking it and commenting with you guys, so that boosts up the time. But that's more of like something like I benefit from. Everyone checks their phone, checks Facebook and stuff. I'm checking YouTube, when I get my notifications. So I don't really count that as work because I want to engage with you guys. But the actual work, about 12 to 15 hours of YouTube. And web development, 40-hour job, study, 25 to 30 hours or more. What is your take on mobile development? It's unnecessary. It's a given. We're all going that way. Mobile development, Google is going to do some re-indexing where they put mobile first as like the preference. So a lot of people are freaking out like, oh, my website isn't responsive. Well, like 60% of searches are done on mobile. Like it's not going away. It's, you have to do it. So learn it. Learn responsive design. It shouldn't even be called responsive design anymore. It's just design. And that just should be taken, that just should be assumed now. It's not mobile for like web development. If you're making websites, it's just websites. But if you're talking about like specific stuff like Swift or Objective-C or Java, it's the way things are going. It's not like that's going to be overtaken, at least not now, by like Google Glass. I mean, we all know how that ended. So if that's something you want to pursue, definitely go ahead and do that. Any other questions? Let's see here. Let's go back to the live stream. Let's get this chat back up here. I think that's gonna do it for today. I apologize if it was kind of crazy, but yeah, that's all I got. Let's make sure we're still streaming. We are still streaming. If you have any questions for future shows or future topics, let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear what you'd like, because I really, I need help on this stuff too. And you're totally welcome, Icaro. Thanks for letting me know. But going forward, I'm gonna run out of some of these topics. So if you have anything that you'd like to know, just let me know in the comments. I will talk to you guys next time. My next video will be about Google developer tools. Just going in there, seeing what you can do with them. It's probably sometime in the middle of the week, and then of course React and a live stream next Sunday, probably in the morning around 9:30. Thanks for coming in, guys. See you next time.